Radical.
You ever get on like a kick on YouTube of checking out certain kinds of uploads? Well, I'm taking a break from sports and a lot of other different uploads I usually check out on YouTube, and I'm focusing specifically on top 10 game console list. Just out of curiosity of what people feel is the top 10 game consoles of all time. Also, the top generations of all time. That's actually an upload. There's 9 console generations, and people are ranking the generations, which I'm confused on how you really rank generations. I mean, I guess you could, but there's all these questions that come to mind about who exactly has the authority out of all these channels, other than just opinion. Who would really have the gravitas? Who would have the authority to be able to not only rank the best consoles of all time, but the best console generations? I mean, are there people out there that have played every single game console? The answer is probably yes. Yeah, I bet there's people out there, some freaks, who've actually played every single game console. Even all the Tiger Electronics. Well, actually, they don't count as games, but still. And I would think, okay, maybe somebody that has a massive game collection, that has all the game consoles, regularly play video games every single day, both old and new. Maybe that kind of person would have the gravitas. Maybe I should listen to that kind of person. Even though everyone just has an opinion, I would say a person that has a gigantic game collection and has played all the different generations, maybe somebody that's maybe like in their 60s or something like that. Maybe somebody that's been around, that's seen it all. Maybe I listen to maybe a guy or girl in their 60s that has been around to play all the different games, all the different, well, I mean, no one's played all the games. That leads me to my next question. If somebody has a top 10 or top 20 or top 100 list of best video games of all time, how do you even judge that? How? I mean, my thinking is, okay, first off, when it comes to a game, the importance of the game, let's say like Super Mario Brothers. Of course, Super Mario Brothers is a simplistic game where a plumber goes left to right and he jumps on Goomba's heads. And then he hits bricks, and then mushrooms come out of the bricks and he gets bigger. The whole game sounds like a trip to me. But that game has been outdone steadily since the 80s. Even by Nintendo itself, they have made that formula. They even have Galaxy 64, you know. It is one of the least when it comes to Mario games. But some people might rank it towards the top just because of its importance. It's not even as good as Mario Bros. 3 on that same system, but they would point to its significance, its importance. That game, along with Zelda, they brought gaming back. If it would not be for Mario, that plumber man, gaming might not come back to where it is today. A lot of people point to that game. I mean, look at Doom. We talked about briefly how Doom could be considered the best first-person shooter of all time, or the most important, but maybe not the best. Because the original Doom has been outdone by first-person shooters. But without the first Doom, nothing comes after that. I see people making arguments about generations like, well, if it wasn't for the PlayStation 2, there would be no PlayStation 3, 4, you know. That's kind of a silly argument to make. But yeah, who has the authority? Or is it just opinion? You know, I would be curious on if there's an actual legitimate way. I mean, I don't have the time to really put into it. If there's actually a legitimate way to, number one, rank the console generations by maybe the average score of games that came out on that generation. And Nintendo decided to break up the generations because they're doing their own thing. You know, PlayStation and Xbox 2013, they came out at the same time, same month in November. And it was halfway through that generation, Nintendo decided to, bring out the Switch. So the Switch, you can make an argument that it's not even in a generation. Nintendo's their own generation. I mean, before that, we had it was close between a year or two, right? Between generations. Saturn came out 95, PlayStation 96. You had the GameCube coming out around the same time as the Xbox and the PS2. But then Nintendo has to fuck shit up with the generations and doing their own thing, right? I mean, they can do whatever they want to. You can release consoles whenever you want to, but is there even generations anymore? 8th, 9th? I mean, like I said, if you don't include Nintendo in the generations, then how the hell would you even... How would you even? But this is last couple days, this has been on my mind. And I've seen some of these top list. Mojo Plays had a terrible one. I even called them out in the comment section. That's the one I think ranking by generations. Tell me, how do you make a 9-minute upload spending only 1 minute on talking about an entire generation? Okay, there's certain things you could do on a Mojo type upload. Okay. Maybe top 5 something. Maybe a top 5. I know they do other things other than gaming. Top 5 wrestlers, top 5, hard rock, heavy metal bands. Okay, but you spend 1 minute on one band. How are you going to squeeze in an entire generation into under a minute? It's just stupid they would do that. Plus, they messed up because they have some generations over other generations. They have the generation with Xbox One above the Xbox 360 generation. What the fuck are you smoking if you're saying that the PS4 Xbox One generation is better than the PS3 Xbox 360 generation? I can list you 20 different reasons it's not. So none of you can make any argument that the PS4 Xbox One generation is better than the 360 PS3 generation. Because, like I said, Nintendo's not even in that generation. When did Wii U? No, they started with the Wii U, didn't they? Because around 2006, the Wii came out, then the PlayStation 3, and then 2005 was the 360. So you can make an argument that was actually the last generation, and there's only 8 generations. You can make that argument, but that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I'm very busy tonight. Got some game testing to do, and I just didn't really feel like looking up some gaming news or various other things and comment response show. I didn't have time for that this week. I wanted to do one this week, but I did not. But yeah, just I'm just curious about what a lot of you think on it. Mainly, who has the authority? What outlet has the authority to even rank console generations or, the top 100 games of all time? Because I know it's not me. Shit, I know it's not me. So don't even say, hey, Radical Rick, you have the authority. No, I don't have the authority. I've not even played half of the consoles, really.